What's up, Internet? Welcome to Once Over. I'm Kaylee, and today we're going to be giving the Once Over to Hesher. At its heart, Hesher, which came out in 2010 and was directed by Spencer Susser, is an exploration of loss. The movie is an unconventional drama that takes us through the tumultuous life of the mysterious and nihilistic character named Hesher, played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Gordon-Levitt gives to be what I think is one of the best performances of his career, as he performs as an enigmatic and chaotic force that crashes into the lives of a grieving family focused largely on 13-year-old TJ, played by Devin Brochu, and his father, Paul, played by Rainn Wilson, and his grandmother, played by Laurie, who actually just recently passed away.
Stuck to the roof of their mouth. They couldn't swallow it.
Fucking fluffo.
Laurie's fucking amazing. The movie opens up with TJ on his bike chasing after a car that's being towed away. Him chasing after this car will become pivotal in the film, as it is actually his main motivation. Also, just as a note, Devin Brochu is fucking amazing. 2010 was a huge year for him. He was in both this and he played the kid in Rubber. I think we need to get this kid's agent like a fucking award. Amazing. Amazing. This kid rules. Anyway, we find out that TJ lives with his dad, Paul, who is basically a pill-popping deadbeat who won't get off the couch, and also his grandmother, whose motto is basically, if it's raining, you can either hide and take cover, or you can just get wet. On his way to school one day, TJ throws a rock into a window of a seemingly abandoned house, which leads him into meeting the horrifying Hesher. Hesher is unapologetically himself, and probably the best way to describe him is that he has a big fuck you tattooed on his back, which entirely sums up his character. According to both directors Susser and Gordon-Levitt, the character of Hesher was actually based on Cliff Burton, who was the bassist of Metallica and who tragically passed away in a tour bus accident in 1986. Hesher is always being himself, even when it means that he is being a dick.
You ever been skull fucked? Would you like to be? Since
Hesher blames TJ for ruining his home, he starts haunting TJ at school and eventually, without asking, moves into TJ's home. TJ's family is very confused by Hesher. He's always in his underwear, he's smoking cigarettes indoors, he fixes the cable. He watches porn, all without any concern about what the family may think of him. TJ tells his family that Hesher is his friend, probably out of fear, and the family does not question the clear age difference between the two, at least not until way later in the movie. At one point, the grandma does finally ask about it.
You seem a little older than TJ.
Who?
But like in the beginning, they're just like, okay, here's this guy living with us now. If I had a 13-year-old kid who started hanging out with a degenerate weirdo who is way older than him, I would be concerned about the safety of my kid.
There's some sick fucks out there.
Of course, I guess the counter argument to that is that the dad, Paul, is so incapable of parenting that he doesn't give a fuck. Hesher largely torments TJ, but in really odd ways. For example, Hesher starts bullying TJ's school bully, which is actually kind of nice to TJ. But it's really hard to tell if he's doing this because he likes TJ or because he knows that TJ is going to get blamed for it every time he fucks with the bully because it's TJ's enemy. In one very memorable scene, Hesher just lets the bully force TJ to eat a urinal cake. So clearly Hesher is not totally on TJ's side. Eventually, and unsurprisingly, Hesher takes it too far and ends up blowing up the bully's car. TJ is headstrong during this scene.
In the van.
No.
Get in the fucking van now. I'm gonna run you over.
TJ's strength makes Hesher like him more.
Sorry about the fire the other night. That was totally out of control and it was foolish and irresponsible, really. So, sorry. But, here. I want you to have this.
Get away from me.
Dude, are you gay? I can't work you out.
TJ develops a crush on the older Nicole, played by Natalie Portman, who is also one of the film's producers.
You think she shaves her pussy?
You shaved your head for V for Vendetta. Did you also shave your V for Vagina?
Even though TJ clearly likes her, she also becomes a mother figure because, as it turns out, the car TJ has been chasing throughout the film was the car that his mother died in, which explains why his dad is so incapable of anything, because he is grieving the loss of his wife to the extent that it makes everyone around him suffer. TJ and Hesher make their way into Nicole's life after she gets into a car crash. And this is the point in the movie where we get to start hearing Hesher's weird allegorical stories.
Is that some kind of perverted metaphor for me?
What?
Never mind.
He tells one story about a five-some where the moral of the story is to let other people take care of themselves and you can sit back and jerk off. Later, he tells a story about trying to feed a mouse to his pet snake, but the mouse ends up punching the snake. This is probably the most meaningful of his metaphors because there's a clear parallel between this and his relationship with TJ. In the end of the movie, he gives us another pearl of wisdom as he talks about how he lost his left nut. He realized after being sad about it that he still has his right nut, which of course is the whole point of the movie. You have to get through grief by being happy about what you still have. Hesher takes TJ and Nicole to break into a random person's house to go swimming and also destroy their property, which is probably where I really started noticing how pop culture centric this film is. During this swimming pool scene, we get a huge Star Wars reference as Hesher talks all about the trash compactor.
R2! R2!
But moreover, throughout the film, we get tons of other pop culture references, like TJ wearing a red hoodie and riding around on a bike a la E.T., Hesher making hilarious Muppets-themed jokes.
Hey, what's green and slimy and smells like bacon?
I don't know, dear.
And of course, we get tons of Metallica throughout the film. All of this pop culture somehow makes the movie feel more sincere and down to earth. Also, there's a DVD extra that has a really great reel of them trying to film the swimming pool scene and getting very thwarted by airplanes, which I'll insert a little clip of here.
Plane.
Hold on, pause there, Joe. Just pause. We're just waiting for Jet here.
Yeah.
Just pause there for a second, Joe.
Hold for the jet before we start the lines. That'd be great.
And now we'll wait for a plane for a second. Another jet.
Whose house is this?
Yeah, well,
Well, then what was that?
that weed whacker is killing us, in case anyone is unaware.
Hesher grows closer to the family, especially the grandma who sadly dies. This family, who's already been stricken with grief, is now experiencing another thing to grieve over. We get to see both Hesher and TJ discovering her death, but noticeably absent is that we never see Paul discover her. Maybe this is because he's too wrapped up in his own world. Hesher, who probably doesn't know how to grieve the loss of the grandma, fucks Nicole, representing the only thing TJ cannot forgive him for. Hesher fucked his life and effectively fucked both his crush and his mom. Hesher goes to try to apologize for the situation, but they end up in a scuffle, and for the first time, Dad Paul actually acts like a parent and gets off the couch to come and intervene.
Get off him! What are you doing? Come on! Oh, fuck!
TJ very much becomes the mouse in the mouse and snake story while simultaneously pursuing the red car by threatening to cut the toe off his bully in order to find out where the car is. This ends up with him finding out that the car has been taken away to a junkyard, which is really heartbreaking for him because, again, that car represents his mother. When TJ is getting ready for his grandmother's funeral, Nicole shows up to apologize and helps fix his tie just like his mom did on the day that she passed away. At the funeral, Hesher shows up and we get one of the most beautiful and memorable sequences of the film where the three boys take Grandma for a walk, which is something that she always wanted to do. In the end, Hesher and his chaos helped them all process loss, especially with his don't ignore the things you have, losing a nut story.
And my fucking dick works too.
This film is a bold and unconventional exploration of loss and friendships. One of the subtle aspects of the film is that Hesher is constantly acting as a roadblock for the family, or maybe more accurately, a driveway block. He's constantly parking his big rusty van in their driveway so that they can't park. He sunbathes in the driveway, again blocking them. But in the end, he ends up leaving them a peace offering of the crunched up car which he rescued from the junkyard in the driveway, which paints the picture that his constant obstruction of their lives is not in vain and that it actually taught them all a valuable lesson. In the end, Paul is able to become a parent again, a little bit more of himself. We get to see them all processing loss and again developing friendships in their own ways. From the darkly humorous moments to the poignant reflections on loss and redemption, Hesher defies traditional storytelling norms. This movie helps me deal with grief and it helps me move forward. But most of all, it reminds me to always run away from metalheads, especially ones with only one nut.
This is making insanely good sense to me.
I absolutely loved this movie. I would easily give it a 6 out of 7 thumbs up. I think it's actually on my list of my top 50 movies of the 2000s. I can't remember. I should try to find that list, huh? I love it. I think it's absolutely stunningly beautiful. I think that it is a perfect example of how storytelling can break you down and build you up, and how you can find things that you need in very unexpected places. I'd love to hear what you thought about this movie. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you think they chose the right Metallica songs? What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait for the next one.
All right, I'll go, but on one condition.